Most of the times when people see you being a bodybuilder, they have the notion that you might be taking steroids or something. But I think you can do bodybuilding with just food. Yeah, you can do it with food and supplement if you can afford.
When you're a pro bodybuilder, every single one is on steroids. Let's make that clear, right? You know that, right? Best of the best, no names mentioned.
I've worked with men who will say, if you told me that taking anabolic steroids is going to take 20 years off my life, I would still do it, because at least I would be big and muscular in the time I was here.
It's incredible science. So there's hundreds of steroids that have been produced in the world since the 1940s and 30s. They're either for human grade use or animal use. Equipoise, it's for horses, dogs, and cats. But these men use all these mixed. They're all mixed.
There's something pathological about that. That's not a healthy way of thinking, because at the end, it's not about being muscular, it's about being happy, being confident, being accepted.
The regular dose for a testosterone replacement patient is about 100 milligrams of ester per week. Bodybuilders and strength athletes and strongmen can use upwards of 5 grams a week. 100 to 5,000.
It's risk versus benefit ratio. And I always tell people that if they want to go down that road, that's up to them. But when you're 25, you don't give a shit. You know, when you're 25, you just want to be the best in the world and be Mr. Olympia. So when you get older, I think you start thinking about it more.
Well, when you see bodybuilders die at a young age, like Dallas McCarver, I think it's really sad. There was a guy who had great potential in being, you know, a great bodybuilder, and, you know, his life coming down short for whatever reasons from, you know, whatever he did in bodybuilding. I was worried about my health, you know. I think, you know, my injury that caused me to retire early was probably a blessing in disguise, because I would have probably pushed my body, you know, to the limits to try to keep up with the bodybuilders that were like getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Even back then, there wasn't much emphasis on steroids. I know when I got into it, I was more about the training hard, the eating, you know, that sort of thing. Steroids is like I heard about it and I knew it was into sport, but it wasn't so like now you go on any website today, forums, it's all people talk about is drugs, steroids. It just drives me mad.
Social media has a lot of benefits and a lot of pitfalls, and one of the pitfalls are it disseminates a lot of unhealthy information where young people have access to it and now can see some bodybuilder or someone saying, oh, well, if you do this, this, and this, then you could look this big.
Let me put it to you this way. Okay, look, I have a lot of friends in whole different genres of sports. Football, baseball, basketball, and many of them are professional. Golfers use steroids, okay? It's just a thing. It's just, I mean, the kids at the gym, just recreational little, you know, Jersey Shore douchebags I see at the gym. They're all juiced up and to the max and what have you. Everybody does it. Everybody does it.
So why they target bodybuilder? Because bodybuilders, they take off their clothes. They are in their, you know, shorts or trunks on stage. Obviously, the physique is much different than a normal person. So people don't see hard work and effort that go behind. You can take enhancers, you can take this and that, but at the same time, you can't buy the hard work which people put.
With 1 week before the competition in San Marino, Verinder trains with his mentor, Shiru, in their home state of Punjab. There is a certain level of pride in his region, and a good performance on a European soil would mean a lot to them.
Yes, come on, bro.
Behind. Good. Yep. San Marino Pro. Come on. Yep.
He's been working much harder since the last 6 months. Plus his major challenge, which also I see, he's a vegetarian. When I was competing, you know, me being vegetarian, things responded me.
The beast from India.
Bodybuilding is so mental. That's what you have to do. You have to sacrifice everything in your life. If you're not ready here, you know, bodybuilding is 80% mental.
Before the competition, bodybuilders go through a cutting phase. It's a complex process that requires balancing carbs, protein, water, and sodium intake. Each body reacts differently to this process. The adjustments in diet and water intake are done on a daily basis, all the way up to the competition. Most bodybuilders don't consume any water the day of the show to make their bodies look like an anatomy chart. But dehydration can break down even the most experienced bodybuilder.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Brazil, Rafael.
You got to be in great condition. You have to be able to pose right, and everything has to flow. The symmetry has to be like, you know, where you create that V taper, and you have round muscle bellies, and you know it's defined, and you know, and whoever poses and shows off their strong points and hides their weaknesses against the other guys is usually picked as a winner. We all have our strong points. I mean, I was great at hiding the flaws that I had, and trust me, everyone has some. And, you know, it took me a long time to overcome a lot of that to be able to be the champion and consistently win.
Made it to top 2. He now goes toe-to-toe against one of the top men's open bodybuilders in the world.
Second place, the silver medal. Take that to competitor number 4, Hani.
He came close, but being number 2, despite the weight category, will never be enough for the Persian Wolf.
These guys, if they don't win, the membership in the gyms come down, they get blasted in social media, the haters will come out and they will take away everything they have. So to them, it's life or death for these Iranians. It's everything to them. You know, it's everything to them. It's the passion, it's so strong. That's why they get upset and they go and they cry and they do this and they do that.
There's always going to be controversy no matter who wins and who. You know, the only one that's happy is the guy that wins a show or the female that wins a show. Everybody else is always going to be unhappy from second on down, so what can you do?
Tired. Finish.
Placing 7th was not the result he wanted, but Rafael is at peace with the placement. He achieved his goal and made the pro debut in the world arena. For Verinder, the result wasn't as expected. Being a vegetarian puts him at a disadvantage for gaining muscle mass, and he knows it. But he's determined to continue his career and rep his nation around the world.
From front, Verinder is very good. as good as any other guy in the world right now. His problem is always in the back, the hamstring and the back cut up thing. Give him like 6 months or 1 year, you will see a new Vrinder coming up.
Люди первый раз, когда попадут в Америку, у них будут другие взгляды, да, вот, ой, Америка, потому что многие мечтают туда попасть. Потому что, говорят, там рай для спортсменов и очень необычная жизнь, если мы сравнивать будем в Узбекистане, да, вот, то есть мы пришли выступать, мы пришли победить. Мы пришли поднять флаг, чтобы про нас знали.
О, Миша! Нормально? Как ты себя чувствуешь?
Отлично.
Молодец.
Миша, как дела? Как самочувствие? Нормально? Выспался? Конечно. Акклиматизировался? Да, все супер. Ну вот есть, смотри, пошло есть. Все, вот это уже конечная фаза. Отлично. И икроножный тоже в этот раз, смотри, сохранился хорошо. Вот, есть. Ну-ка, сечку дай. Вот он, смотри, каждый сечется, все пошло уже, все в сечку уже.
Молодец.
Есть, отлично. Давай. Главное это, спокойно, не нервничаешь, чтобы не перегореть. Глядишь, еще и про-карту получишь в любом случае.
It's finally time. This is what they have been working for. Misha and the rest of the amateur bodybuilders get compared during a tedious prejudging round. Meanwhile, Ariel and Whitney go through their prejudging, the physique round.
When I first came out, the judges didn't even look at me. They were looking down, they were like shuffling papers. There was only a couple of judges that were really looking at me. But yeah, I mean, that's like not a great feeling because you work really hard for this. You know, I'm not really sure what they were expecting from me, but I think I did the best that I could. So I just want to go out there in a routine and kind of kill it now. I feel like I'm only competing against myself. I never go into a show saying I have to win or I have to do this, I have to do that. Because at the end of the day, if I do the best that I can do, I can't be any happier with that.
If you want to be at the elite level, you go all in and you give it everything you've got and you attack it every single day. It takes a very specific person to be at the top. If you're not cut out for it, don't get in. The people who are at the top, They don't need to talk about it. They're not complaining about anything. They're working, they are grinding, they are doing everything that is required and that's necessary to get there. But people aren't willing to do that because it's not easy to be in it. It's not easy to be at the top. This is a serious thing. There's too many serious athletes. There's too many people who are so dedicated and want it so bad. Those are the people who get it. Those are the people who deserve it. You have to be relentless. You have to be fearless in everything you want. Those people who want it know it, and there is nothing stopping them.
Самое интересное, мне Арнольд Шварценеггер говорит, ты откуда, говорит, я говорю, то, что я с Узбекистана. Он говорит, сколько лет ты тренируешься? И такая пауза, все соревнования остановились, на всех телевизорах, наша сцена с Арнольдом. Такая тишина в зале, ну там очень много народу было. И я ему говорю то, что я не знаю английский язык, и такая волна в зале, во, как так, короче, они что-то такое ждали, то, что я сейчас что-то скажу.